Okay, I apologize. I'm still in my pajamas, but but I'm not feeling so well today. Yeah, I'm making a video. So we're up to Yud Gimel in Avodah Zarah, and it says we have a Mishnah at the bottom of the last Amud. It says Ir sheyesh b'avodas kechavim mahay b'chanuyis mutaros shen mutaros zehaya ma'is ve'sha'an v'amru chachamim mutaros asuros v'shen mutaros mutaros. So you have a city where there's a pagan festival. Some of the shops are decorated and some are not, and that actually happened in Beth Shean. And the sages said that the decorated shops are prohibited to do business there, and the ones that are not decorated are permitted. Again, this is in ancient times. We don't have pagan worship today the way they had in the old days. So I'm Rabbi Shimon Lachish. Rish Lachish Loishan Al Mutaris Beverd Vahadis Hani Merecha. Rish Lachish said they only prohibited shops that were decorated with roses or myrtle, which smell nice, and those had been offered as sacrifices. And they could have a din of takrevis of Avodah Zarah because they were spread out in front of the idolatrous altar. To come is hani merecha, because they smell nice. You're not allowed to go in because you're having a benefit from takrevis of Avodah Zarah, which is worse than even the Avodah Zarah itself. Al mutaris befeiris mutaris. But if they decorate just with fruit, then you can go into such a shop. My timer. So, in fact, the Gemara, the Talmud asks, what's the reason? Damar kra liyidbak biad chamum mecherim. It says in Deuteronomy 13, verse 18, that no part of the cherem, of the excommunicated property. What are you doing? What is that? What is that? Alright, ask your sisters, take in the girls' room. It should remain in your hand, should not be connected to your hand, it may attach to your hand. We see that you're not allowed to derive benefit from something that was used for idol worship. And now we're on our Amud, on Yud Gimel. Avol Mahana Shari, but providing benefit is allowed. There are examples of this. So Rabbi Yochanan Amar Fil Motoris first Nami also Kalvachem and also Mahana Lekol Shekain. But Rabbi Yochanan disagrees with his shwager, with his brother-in-law Reish Lakish, and he says even if they are only decorated with fruits, they're also prohibited. Why? It's inferiority. It's all the more so kal v'chomer. If you're not allowed to derive benefit from an idol, which is taking away from the idol, you're not allowed to give benefit, which is giving to it. Meisvei. So we have a challenge that supports Rabbi Yochanan against Reish Lakish. Rabbi Nosson Omer. Rabbi Nosson says Yoim Shavuos Kechavam Menachas Boyes Meches Machzirin v'Oimrim Kol Mi Shenoit La Torah V'Niach B'Rosh B'Rosh Chamor V'Lechvodav Is Kechavam V'Niach Loyes Meches V'Mlav Al Yiniach Loyes Meches Yuri Shenimtza Shama Yaseh. Nosson says, what about the following case? The ruling government, that's a pagan government, the Romans, let's say, they are collecting a tax to support their pagan temple. And they say that if you take a wreath and put it on your head and your donkey's head to honor the idol, then you'll be exempt from the tax. And if he doesn't, he won't be exempt. He'll have to pay the tax. So Yehuda Shenimsa Shamayasa, what should a Jew do who finds himself there in such a situation? So it gives a few options, yeah?
I have to go out.
Alright, so come right back in. Sianiach nimsenana. If he wears the wreath, he's getting benefit from the idol. First of all, the wreath smells nice. And only because the wreath smells nice. Being exempt from a tax is not a benefit because the money is yours. So we see here that the sages had a capitalist idea that the money belongs to you and taxes don't automatically belong to. It's not a benefit to be exempt from a tax. It's what's normal. It should be. And if he doesn't wear the wreath, so then he's benefiting the idol by paying the tax. So whatever he does, he's going to have to pay a tax. It seems that it would be a sales tax doing business there. So maybe he should just stay away from the place altogether. So Mekan Amru Hanais V'Nais M'Shuk Shelo Avodas Kechavim Behema Teyaker Peres Ksus V'Chelim Yirkvu Ma'osu Chlei Matachas Yulichim L'Yam Melach. So if this is why the rabbis say if you do business in a pagan marketplace, the animal that you buy there, we spoke before, should be uprooted. It would seem that it would be spayed or neutered. Any fruit, clothing, other items, utensils, you should just let them rot. And money and metal, which don't rot, you should just throw them into the Dead Sea and destroy them. Ve'ezu ikar, what does it mean, ikar? To be ma'akar, the animal, to uproot it. Menashe persiseh min erkuva lamata. He's cutting the tendons of its hooves at a point from the hakan below. We discussed this a little bit before. It's in a way that it's not a treifa, but it makes it more difficult to derive benefit from the animal. Ketani miyas yaniach nimsi yaniyah nana le'yaniach nimsi mahana. So either way, we say like this, that if you wear the wreath, then you're deriving benefit from the idol because it smells good. And if you don't, you're benefiting the idol. So which is better? Anyway, it shows that according to Reish Lakish is wrong. You're not allowed to give benefit to an idol, neither give nor receive. So how does Reish Lakish learn this then? Amar Rav Mashashia, brother of Idi. Rav Mashashia is the name of the son of Rav Idi, said, Kasav Rabbi Shimon Lakish plige Rabbana Alei de Rabbi Nassan. Reish Lakish held that the rabbis disagree with Rabbi Nassan. V'an Adam Rabbanim de plige Alei. Reish Lakish holds like the Rabbanim who disagree with Rabbi Nassan. Yochanan Savalei pligi. So, how can Rabbi Yochanan side with Rabbi Nassan, who's a das yachid, against the Rabbanan, who were the majority? The law goes like the majority, and the answer is Rabbi Yochanan Savalei pligi. Rabbi Yochanan holds that the rabbis do not disagree with Rabbi Nassan. But is that really the case? Tanya, we have a brisa the rabbis taught. Hochen Yirid Shaloiv de Kichavim, Leuchem Mehem Behem and Vadam Shvachas Vadam Besadas Echramim, Bechesav Mal and Bar Koishalahen, Neishu Kamatzl Miadam. You could go to a commercial fair conducted by pagans on their holiday and buy animals, servants, maidservants, real estate, houses, fields, and vineyards. Can you go see what Shlomi's doing outside? I think he's in there.
Oh.
And you can write up documents in their courts, because it's like you're saving it from their hands. And then putting it into writing it down, even though we usually don't go to their courts, but writing a document shows that belongs to you. You got to put it in writing, right? Because they might say, "Oh, you never really bought it," and then you're wasting money buying it. So that's why you have to have documents. Kohen, if he's a priest, he could even go outside the Holy Land, which the rabbis decreed that all land outside the Holy Land is impure, and a Kohen should not leave the Holy Land, in order to enter into litigation and sue them in their courts and so forth. This is because it's a rabbinical decree. The rabbis can make such a decree in such a shem shematama b'chutz la'aretz, tech matama v'esa kvaris. Then it goes on to say, just as he can impurify himself with the tumah being outside the Holy Land, even with the cemetery he could also. This is a big question. How could the priest go to a cemetery? He's not allowed. That's a biblical prohibition. Just when you say rabbinical prohibition, because the rabbis never made the prohibition in that case. Biblical prohibition, how could it be? So we're talking about a field with a grave that was plowed through. That is only a rabbinical prohibition. So the Gemara goes on. Back in the priest can himself by leaving the Holy Land or to study Torah or to get married, to marry a woman. Amar of Yehuda Mosai, this man shein moitz l'lumoy, this man shein moitz l'lumoy, they metame. So, when can he do that? If he has nowhere else to go learn, but if he has a place to go learn, then he